Friends, Running Kimono here. So today's video is going to be about more store closures, and specifically in this video we are talking about Big Lots. I know that Joann's also announced this week that they're closing all of their stores, but Big Lots is currently in the process of closing down their stores in the US. I know there's been rumblings that they had some last minute buyer, but that since fell through. And I know one store that I used to frequent is also closing. So I went into the store and I just kind of lurked around and I just wanted to see, is this actually worth buying stuff when they have all these signs, when you walk in the store, it hits you like a bingo sheet, like all these percentage off, and the prices are so amazing. But then when you actually look at the price of the goods and do the math, or if you look at the sheet with all the percentage off, the math isn't mathing if you're a couponer. And there's still a whole lot at two different Big Lots that are closing near me. So I thought we would take an opportunity to just basically look at the math. So for this bag of Loves, it's not even a box. It's $5.83 at 20% off. $7.29 is the original price point, which is already expensive. This store would never allow manufacturer coupons or do a 5 off 25 like the Dollar General. And I think that's a big part of their downfall. I think most shoppers wanted really big savings. And yes, sometimes they would offer like a 10 off a 20 or a 5 off 15, but that was rare. And if you want to get in the store a lot to buy things often, it wasn't very consistent, the savings at Big Lots. Their cheat sheet, to pay 80 cents for something that was $1, it's not massive savings. So I think they really put the pressure on with all the signage to say that you are getting a steal of a deal. And look at these empty shelves, oh my gosh. Well, here's the truth of it. Valentine's Day, Easter, St. Patrick's Day, all of that merchandise hasn't gotten to the store yet. And it's all the old Christmas stuff, and they just keep moving stuff around to make it look empty. It's kind of like an optical illusion. So just be really smart when you're in the store. Obviously, if there's something that you absolutely love and need, that pillow is your favorite thing, by all means, grab one. But for a lot of us that are into bargain shopping and we have a pretty sizable stockpile, it's very easy to put brakes on some of this stuff, or to say that you're going to save an extra 20 cents on something. It's just not worth it. I'd rather buy it at one of the pharmacies or Dollar General. And that's the cornerstone of being a really smart couponer. Lots of these brands of paper products, and I could not find paper there for a long time. And then this guy showed up, and at 20% off, it'd be $3.82, but the rolls are very cheap. And this is one of the brands that they started making a mass amount of paper right after COVID in 2020, and this is all from 2020, so it's 5-year-old paper. And then this bamboo one, I think, was from a Lowe's. Same thing, look how teeny tiny the roll is when you look at it, and it's made out of bamboo. And I don't know, $1.19 for this? I would say no. I'd rather get one at Walgreens. And then this also caught my eye, and I'm just being honest when I'm walking through, and I'm sorry this is coming across negative. I always try to be a little bit more positive, but this isn't a deal. That's what I'm trying to emphasize in this video. These looked all really familiar to me, and I'm like, oh, they all came from the Dollar General, and they must have bought them from the DG. So then just for fun, I started flipping them and scanning them, and guess what? They were penny items that probably you could never find at your store because they boxed them all up and sold them to Big Lots. So that was kind of interesting. These are Christmas coloring books from, I think, 2 years ago, and they were a weird penny item to find, and they were all there. I've seen this done with food too at the Dollar General, and I think when the Dollar General sells a bulk of penny items or certain items, Big Lots was buying it and selling it. And most of this stuff is 50% off, so it's not even a great deal. And then a lot of their Christmas, we're so close to March, who would want to buy all this? Unless it's your favorite thing, or it has some sentimental, I had this when I was a kid and I want the exact same display. It's just stuff that we are Christmas shopping burnt out. And the fact that they're finally gone 75%, it's just a lesson in bad marketing. I mean, I'm sorry again, I'm being so harsh, but I mean, I would think that right after Christmas, all this stuff would be marked down at 75 to just make it fly, but they just held on to it. I think it's because probably the uncertainty of the sale. Were they going bankrupt? Were they closing? Were they not? So I think a lot of this stuff will hopefully they'll donate it to a homeless shelter if it doesn't sell. And even a lot of the Christmas food, only 20% off. And the thing that I really will stress is that if you are buying any sort of food, even if it's a favorite, and if you wanted to keep 5 boxes of it because your Big Lots is closing, check those expiry dates. I was really surprised to see that a lot of the food that had expired or a quick expiry, it just happened, it was still on the shelf. And I was like, wow, like, and I know that you can keep food that's expired for a longer time because a lot of this stuff has preservatives. But just keep an eye out for this because it was a lot of like food, cookies, everything. So if you can find that best by date, especially if you were going to store this for a couple of months, if not longer, I would want stuff with, that's not expired if you're buying it. And that was one thing that I did notice when I was in the store. I think the remaining of the Big Lots that are open, they are going to be closing their doors mid March to April. You can always ask at the store, hey, what's the closing date? And figure out the day before, the day of. Try to get to the store those 2 days to see what's left. Is this worth your time? And so on and so forth. Rich Luck Shopping did a video on the last day at a Big Lots in Texas, and him and his friend filled up like 2 carts for like $2. It was crazy. It's the sort of shopping that all of us dream about as extreme couponers and extreme savers. I will link the video right here. Is this worth your time? Do you have a Big Lots? I would try and figure out the closing date and try and do something like Rich to get the biggest savings. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.